Welcome to Blonde Cards and Crafts. Let's make something together. Hello crafters, welcome to my channel if you're new here. Welcome back if you're a subscriber. Today we are going to make 10 cards using the Love from Lizi March 2024 card kit. It's called Vintage Escapes. It has a kind of a masculine vintage theme going to it. Travel and all that kind of thing, but this will make cards for male or female, but I'm kind of focusing on the masculine side. For all the products that I'm going to use, you can find links to them down in the description below. You'll also find links to the other design team members, as well as to the lovely Jane, who has a YouTube channel called Reflections by Jane, and she is a guest designer this month for Love from Lizi. So if in doubt, looking for measurements, etc., expand the more button for the description down below and you'll find everything you need down there. Okay, so let's start with card number 1, and I have everything we're going to need. I'm using some VersaFine Claire Fallen Leaves ink. I'm going to use the peel-offs that came in the kit. I'm also going to use one of the dies that came in the kit. This is the Dad die. I have used some of the beautiful rose gold cardstock that came in the kit, and I've put some foam, double-sided foam pad behind this, so I'll have a dimensional Dad, and I have that die cut out and ready to go. I've also taken a couple of the little ephemera pieces, and I love these. They have a black outline around them. They're ready as well. I have a stamp from my stash. This is a happy birthday stamp from the January 2021 kit. It came with stamps and with matching dies, so I have those all there ready to go. And the only reason that I'm using that this month is because I wanted the happy birthday, so I'm just taking a happy birthday from that. I've also got a piece of the pattern paper that came in the kit. This is the textured one. It's got a linen feel to it. This piece measures 4 3/4 by 6 inches because the pattern paper is 6 by 6. I've taken one of the dies. There are new dies to the Love from Lizi website. They are these. They're the nested postage stamp dies, and you will see these being used throughout these 10 cards. So I've taken the third one from the outside and I have popped that onto my pattern paper. I've kind of given the same amount of border here on the right hand side and bottom right. So I have my die popped in there and I have put that through already, and that's ready to be die cut out. The piece that is in here, I'm going to use that in card 2, so make sure you keep your piece. And I love how this comes out, and I'm going to take the time for this one to show you. There we go. There is our lovely, we've got our stamp. It's like a large stamp, and then that is how it looks when it's die cut out. And then finally I have a piece of white cardstock, and my white cardstock, it measures 10 by 7, and I'm going to score this at 5 inches on the long side. This has a smooth texture. It's from my stash, but on the other side it's a linen texture, and it's on the linen texture side that I'm going to put all my pieces. This will be the front. So I'm going to score this now, and I'm going to get that ready, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece, we're going to do some ink blending using the VersaFine Claire. Now you can use whatever inks you have. You can use your Distress Oxide dyes or any of those. I'm just going with the VersaFine Claire. So I'll come back to you now once I'm ready to do some ink blending. And there we go. There is our first card using the new March 2023 card kit called Vintage Escapes. And I hope you like it. Let's move on now to card number 2. So now we're going to move on to card number 2, and I'm using some craft card that came in the kit. I'm going to make a 5.5 by 5.5 card, and this will fit nicely into 6 by 6 envelope. So I have a piece of 11 by 5.5, and I have scored it at 5.5, and that'll give us our card base. I've also taken the embossing folder that we got in the kit, and I've taken some black cardstock that we got in the kit. I cut this piece to 5.25 by 5.25 and embossed it, and I'm going to add a little bit of blending onto that, and I'll show you that in a minute. Now, if you don't have the blending, I'm going to use this, it's new to me, metallic gilding polish. It'll give a tarnished gold look. I'm going to use some of that around this, but if you don't have that or have any gilding polish, just stick that straight down onto your card base. I also have this piece. This was the piece that came out of card 1. I'm going to pop that onto the front of the card there. I've taken the Grandad die. I've used a scrap piece of the craft cardstock. I've put a piece of foam tape behind it, stuck them together, and then die cut that. So my sentiment, my Grandad word, is ready there and has its foam on it. And then I have 3 pieces of ephemera. 2 of them have nothing on them, but this one, the little Panama hat, I think it's called, has got some foam tape. And I'm going to pop that up here. I'm going to pop my luggage here, and I'm going to pop my Grandad there. We'll probably add a little bit of the gems on that. I'll see how it's looking once we're done. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is embellish our embossed panel. So let's do that together. So that's card number 2 with all the shine and sparkle on it. Let's move on now to card number 3. So for card 3, I have everything out on my craft table that I'm going to need to make this card, and you can see them all here. So let's start first with our card base. I'm going to make an American A2 size card. So we need a piece that measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I'm going to score this at 4.25. And I'm going to do that now while I think of it, so I don't forget. So I'll score it, and I bring this in so you can see. I'm going to score this at 4.25, and then we'll have a side folding card. Now, this cardstock I'm using is 300 GSM. It's textured on one side and smooth on the other. So I'm going to put the textured side on the outside and the smooth side on the inside. So that's my card base all done and ready to go. Next, I have a little panel here, and this piece measures 4 by 5.25. It's going to sit on top of my card base like so. I've got 2 strips of pattern paper. This strip here, it measures 1.5 by 5, and it's a double-sided one, so I could put whichever I liked on there, but I like this color is kind of pulled out in this, and this was an offcut from my previous card, and this piece measures 1 inch wide, and it's about 5 inches long. They're actually longer. I think they're 6 inches. I just cut the strips because what I want to do is I want to put them on my card, and then I want to just tear them like so. I want that kind of edge on it, and I'm going to do the same with this one, and I'm going to have this so it's about, let's see, about this. So you can tear these how you like. You can cut them straight across if you like. I've just got them like that. So that's what I've done there. Now I've got these fab, they're like a domed style peel off, and I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to put it down between my two pieces of pattern paper there, and I'll just go down as far as the torn edge on the shorter piece. So I'm going to use them for that. I'm going to take these pieces then and I'm going to overlap them. I'll cut this one across, or I could do it that way. I think it needs to be a bit shorter. I'm going to shorten this one and I'm going to pop them inside my card, and I'll embellish the inside of my card with that. Okay, so next I've taken some ephemera. I have this little one of the globe. So I have put on the back of that foam tape to the left and to the right, and this is going to sit astride these peel offs here, or whatever we're calling them. I can't remember what Lizzie called them, but these domed sticker peel offs, it's going to sit astride it like that, and that's why I put some foam tape on that. I've also got two of the little wooden pieces, the like place marker and the arrow, and I'm gonna pop them onto there as well, and I'll decide where I'm gonna put them once I come to it. Probably something like that and something like that, but we'll see when we get there. This was one of the cool tools that came in the kit as well, and what I want to do with this is I'm going to ridge up the edge of this. So you just pop your piece of pattern paper in there, and it just gives it that kind of worn edge. And I'm going to do the same but on this side. We won't see really the other side, so I'll just lovely. So I've got that, you know, mixed media style edge there, and I have it on the other one there. I've got some VersaFine Clear ink. This is Chianti, and I'm going to use that as well. What I'll do is I'll just dip that in here, and then I'll go along the edge like so. That is card 3. It is our lovely Wherever You Are panel. I love all the shimmer and shine on that just by using 2 pieces of pattern paper, and you can do this card last and use your scraps up to do it using our lovely dimensional peel offs there, some of our wooden pieces, our ephemera, and our stamps. I just love it. And then inside we have the response to wherever you are missed. I just love that. I think that's lovely. So there we go. That's card 3. Let's move on now to card number 4. So here we are, and we're moving on to card number 4. And card 4 is going to be a 6x6-ish card. So I like to use a piece of A4 cardstock. And what I do is I leave it at the 11 3/4, and I cut it to 5 7/8, and then I score it at 5 7/8, and that will give me a card base measuring 5 7/8 by 5 7/8, so it's just shy of 6x6, which means I don't have to buy 12 by 12 sheets of cardstock to cut them down to make 6x6 cards. So I use my A4 cardstock for that. So the measurements I'm going to give you now are for my piece of pattern paper, and it's the one with the luggage on one side, and I thought these looked kind of like checkered flags, and this piece is cut down to 5 5/8 by 5 5/8, so we'll have a nice little border going around there. I'm going to take some of the VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, and I'm going to ink blend around the edges of the pattern paper. And I'm also going to use the dies that I got in the add-ons, these stamp shape dies. So I've taken one of them, and this is the 3rd largest one, and I've die cut this out in black. You can see it there. And then I've taken the next size down and die cut that out in the light craft card that we got. Now, I want this to kind of sit like that and like that. I didn't want to die cut out another one this size because I didn't have enough of the craft card left. So what I'm going to do is, and I'll show you, it's a little trick I like to use often. I'm going to cut it straight across the middle, more or less. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it on to my card like so, at a jaunty angle or something like that. I can add it on like that and like that, and that'll look like then we've got 2 pieces. So if I do it like that and then do the same on this side, I want it to look as if I've used a long piece that's coming out like that. So that's what I'm going to do with that, and that'll sit then on my pattern paper like so. And what I'll do is I'll probably go around the edges of this one, so it'll look something like that and like that. Then I have a little piece of the ephemera, the car. The reason I'm using this is my daughter in the Netherlands is learning to drive, and I've every confidence that she's going to pass her test when she does it. So this is this is for Alicia. So I'm going to have that there like that, and I'm going to put one of the arrows going there and maybe the other one down here. I haven't decided on the layout. I know I want the 2 arrows, so I might do like that and that. And you know, this could all change. The ribbon, I'm going to put that behind, so I'll use a couple of lengths of that, and this will go behind that. So it'll, these 2, I'm going to glue these 3 pieces or stick these 3 pieces together. Then I'll add my ribbon, add some foam tape to them, and away we go. So you'll see all that. And then for a finish, I have a white gel pen. I want to do some dash lines around the edge. I know we have some stitched lines there, but I'm going to do some dash lines as well. And the reason for that is it'll kind of give the vibe of a road. So that's the plan with that. Okay, so I've also got here, before we finish, I have the Celebrate stamp set. This came in the May 2022 card kit. I know Lizzie has this on the website. She also has a thank you, with love, and hello. I love these, they're really cool. So I want to put Celebrate on there as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Celebrate on there, and I'm going to do that using white embossing powder from my stash. So now, right, that's everything. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my Celebrate onto this. Then I'm going to stick these together. So I'm going to put you into fast forward. I'm speed it up. I don't think you need me to walk you through it. You'll be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead now and speed everything up. Now, there we go. That is card number 4 all done, and I hope you like it. We're going to move on now to card number 5. So for card 5, we're going to make a 5x7 card, and to make one of those, you'll need a piece of cardstock measuring 10x7. Score it then at 5 on the long side, and that'll give you a 5x7 card blank. I have a black piece of cardstock. This came from the kit. This piece measures 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. And then I have another white piece of cardstock, and I have that cut at 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. Now that's going to give me a very, very slim frame in the black around there. And I think that'll be really nice. I've used one of the stickers off our sticker sheet. I went to take this one off and I pulled too hard on it and I ended up splitting it. So be very careful when you're taking the stickers off there that you peel them off nicely. But I'm using the largest one, and what I've done was I took the largest one and I stuck it onto a piece of white cardstock. Then I took a die from my stash. These are Love from Lizi dies. She has a set, they're nesting dies, and there's 16 in the pack and they're brilliant. I love them. They're rectangle nesting dies as well. So I die cut out this piece, and you can see it's actually longer than what the stamp was. Now if I wanted to get that so it die cut it out, you know, the same as the top there, I would just move the die up. You'll feel that the die will sit into place where the stitching is, like a jigsaw puzzle piece. Put that through again and it'll cut out the exact size you want. But I wanted it a little long because I'm going to put my sentiment across here on the bottom. I've taken a couple of ephemera pieces, all these ones here, and I'm going to pop them on something like that. I have an idea in my mind. I had it all done up there. You know, you're really as well off when you're putting them together like that, that you take a picture of them or something. But yeah, I thought that was cool cluster there between the backpack, and so I mightn't use them all, and I might, but I have them out anyway with the idea of using them. I've got a little heart piece here, and I may just pop that down on there with my sentiment across here then. Also, what I've done was the sentiments on the stamp set that we got. I have them all here on this stamping block, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this white panel, I'm going to ink blend around it, then I'm going to take my stamps and I'm going to kind of stamp them randomly around. So I'm going to do, you know, like a mixed media kind of page, and then put the rest on top of that. So that's what we're going to need. Let's go ahead now and start off by making our background to go on this. Now, you don't have to make a background. You could take one of the pattern paper pieces and use that instead of the white piece and then continue on. But I'm going to do some ink blending on this, and I'm going to speed through it. So there we go. There is our finished card. This is card number 5, and I think this could go to a guy or a girl. I didn't put the heart on it. I felt there was enough going on already, but I added the little plane instead, and I did some ink blending around that and added some glossy accent on it. I have the I am thinking about you on the outside, and lots of you know, little sentiments there in the background. And I think I'm going to leave it blank inside, because that way then I have room to write a message on the inside. So that's it, card 5 all done. Let's move on now to card number 6. So card 6 is going to be an American A2 size card, and I have my card base made here. It measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4.25. I have a white panel. I don't know if you can hear Buster is here beside me, and he's just having a great time. Anyway, my panel measures 4 by 5.25. I'm going to do some ink blending on that. I've die cut out the dad and the sunnies, or the sunglasses, in some black cardstock, and they're from the stamp set, or sorry, the dies that we got in this month's kit. I've also got 3 circles that I've die cut out, and I've die cut them out using my Love from Lizi nesting dies. And I've got 3 of those. I'm going to do some ink blending on that as well. And I've got a couple of pieces of ephemera. I'm going to put 1 of each of these on each of the circles, and then the dad will go on the 3rd circle. I'm going to stamp happy birthday, and again I'm using this stamp just for ease, and I'm using the happy birthday from that. I need a couple of masculine happy birthday cards. There is a dad, my dad-in-law's birthday is coming up soon, so it's grand and handy to have all these cards made. So that's everything we're going to need. I'm going to set up now to do a little bit of blending, and I'll see you back once I'm ready. So I've got my laminated sheet here that I'm going to use for blending on. I've also got this little piece. It's a piece of white cardstock that I've laminated, and I've put some non-slip little matting on it, and I find it's very handy to keep my inks from moving around. So I'll put the lid, if I can get it off, the lid will go down there, and then my ink pad goes there. And when I'm using my brushes, then I find that the ink pad doesn't move. So just a handy little tip there for you if you're interested. The colors I'm using are Twilight and Warm Breeze, the VersaFine Clair, and I was just trying to pick up some of the blue color in there, and I think that's pretty close. You can just see it there on the screen. So I'm going to do some ink blending now. I'll speed it up, play a bit of music, and I'll come back to you when I've the card more or less assembled. And there we go. There is our lovely dad card. What do you think? Do you like it? I just love this. I love my blue colors, my Twilight and my Warm Breeze. I think picked up the colors that are in the two ephemera pieces. And you know, we didn't have to do a lot to this. Just some ink blending, and we just did it around 3 sides. Some ink blending on our circles, stick down our die cuts, stamp happy birthday, a little bit of splatter. I have to admit, this thing of doing the splatter, it's very new to me. I do like it. It kind of gives it that look. I'm very happy with it. So I've stamped the Love from Lizi happy birthday, and I have inside used a stamp from my stash, enjoy today, it's your birthday. So that is card number 6. Let's move on now to card number 7. For card 7, I'm going to make my nearly 6x6 card. Again, like I've said previously, I have a piece of cardstock measuring 11 3/4 by 5 7/8, and I've scored it at 5 7/8. So we'll have a card base that measures 5 7/8, so it's just short of 6x6. Onto that then, I have some card that came in the kit. This piece measures 5 5/8 by 5 5/8, and then I have another piece of pattern paper, and this piece measures 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. Now I've popped this through the embossing folder. You could use either side if you like. I love the bikes. Makes me think of the Netherlands, and that's where my daughter lives with my granddaughter and son-in-law, and so I'm going to pop that on there. Now I've taken another piece of patterned paper and I've cut a strip. My strip measures 2 inches, and that's 5 3/8 in length. I've taken some of the peel-offs that came in the kit. Now you might notice that the surrounding isn't on mine. It kind of got caught, and it lifted up a little bit, and it kept getting stuck on things, so I just pulled the whole thing off. So all I'm left with now is the peel-offs, which actually makes it easier to use them when you take off the surround. That's what I find anyway. But I've taken some of the peel-offs and I've added one to this side, and then I used two bits that I had on the sheet, and you can see I've wrapped them around. I like to wrap them around when I can, and that way when I stick them on the card I know they're not going to lift off. But with the peel offs, it's pressure that actually activates the adhesive, so when you're putting your peel offs on, make sure you press them down hard, and that will ensure the peel offs don't come off. So that'll go onto my pattern paper like so. I've then taken the add-on stamp dies, and I've die cut that out in white, and then I've taken Lizi's rectangle nesting dies, and I've die cut out one bigger to go underneath that. I've put some foam tape between the white one and the brown one just to add a little bit of dimension. That's going to sit on here like so. And then I took the word brother from the dies that we got in our kit, and I die cut that out. Now I put some of the lovely rose gold cardstock that we got in the kit onto some foam pads, and that way then when I die cut out my my brother, it'll come up and it'll have dimension, and it's adhesive backed, so it saves me a lot of trouble. I took one of the wooden arrows, and I used my embossing powder. Now I'm using the Paper Mania Copper. I've used this in a previous card. Lizi does have a great selection of embossing powders, so have a look there if you're needing one. You can always pop it into your kit, pay for it, pop it into your kit, and it'll come, you know, free shipping. It'll go in your kit box next one if you like. So I have that there. I'm going to add that on there. This little strip came off the bottom of my pattern paper. I'm going to pop that inside to embellish the inside of the card. I'll take one of the peel offs as well, and I'll put one of the peel offs on there too, and that'll also, you know, tie what's going on in the front to the inside. And I need to stamp a sentiment inside as well. So now I'm going to put on some music, speed everything up, do a little bit of stamping, and I'll catch you at the end. And there we go. There is our 7th card, our big birthday wishes, a stamp from my stash. We have our brother that we've used from the dies, and I just love this. I wonder, were you shouting at me, no Simone, don't put it there, put it here, put it there. It's kind of hard, but I just felt I needed it to balance, so I thought it would be very kind of heavy down here if I put the arrow here, and that's why I debated putting it there or there. I think it just gives balance to the card, in my mind anyway. And I just use some of my accent glaze to put little dots. They'll dry clear, and they just add another little bit of texture. And we have lots going on between the embossing powder, the beautiful rose gold cardstock. I just think this is lovely. And then inside I have You'll Never Be This Young Again. And my brother will get a giggle out of that, and that's why I was cheeky enough to use that stamp and put it in there. So that's it, card 7. Let's move on to card 8. So card 8 is an A2 card size, an American A2. It measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. I have a panel here, and this measures 4 by 5 1/4. I've taken my nesting dies, the rectangle, and I've die cut out the inside. I've gutted the cardstock because it's such a pretty cardstock. I don't want to waste it, that it'll be hidden behind my next panel. So I'll just take that off, and because it has the lovely stitch detail on it, I can use this as a panel. And yeah, so I'm just being very careful in case that the top coating comes off, but it didn't, so that'll be kept for another day. Then I have this piece, and this measures 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I'm going to sit it on top like that. Now, we could sit it on top like this and layer it, so we can have this lifted up, because I've taken the stamp nesting die and I've die cut that out. So I was thinking what I'll do is I will put this down here and put this panel on top of that, and then I can stamp my sentiment in here. And I have another brother, and I've just done this, there's no foam behind this one, so I thought I could stamp a sentiment in there. Again, this is going to be a birthday card. And then I have this piece, which is an end of this, so this measures 3 3/4 by 1 inch. I'll put that inside and stamp my sentiment. Now, I'm in two minds whether I lift the whole lot up or put it like that. So let's see, I could put the frame on the outside of this one like that, and then lift the frame up and put brother inside like that. That might look really cool. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I like a bit of dimension in my card. You could just stick these all down, use your liquid glue. You don't have to have any dimension in them, but you know me, I love a bit of dimension. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stamp happy birthday in here, and then I'm going to stamp a sentiment inside. So let's go ahead and do that now next. And there we go, there is card number 8, and I love this little card, and I love that I have put the frame actually on the top rather than underneath. I was going to have this pattern paper lifted up, but I've put it the other way around, and I like it. It frames it, I think. I've used the sunnies or the sunglasses and the little car, and I've die cut out the brother. And with the car, I die cut it out in black, and then in the rose gold I layered the two together, but I left the black little wheels in. I've used some accent glaze to, you know, kind of give the impression of glass on our card. And a stamp from my stash, don't count the candles, just enjoy the cake. And then inside, lots of love on your birthday. And I know my brother will really enjoy this card when he gets it many months from now. But sure, it's made and done and ready to go. So there we go. Let's move on now to card number 9. And now we're moving on to card number 9. And I'm going to be using a lot of different things for this card. But it's a simple card, but you'll see. I'm making a 5 by 7 card for this, and I have a piece that measures 10 by 7. I've scored it at 5, and it's given me a 5 by 7 card base. I've also got this piece, and it's the lovely rose gold cardstock. This measures 4 3/4 by 5 inches, and you'll see it doesn't quite reach the bottom, and you'll get that now in a minute. I have a piece of white cardstock. This measures 6 by 6. It doesn't have to be this size. I want to take the stamp, this one here. I'm going to take this stamp and I'm going to stamp it all over this page. I'm going to use my copper embossing powder, and I'm going to emboss it with the image, and then I'm going to cut it down to size so that it will be 4.5 by 4 3/4, and it'll sit then over our rose gold piece. I then have this circular piece. I've die cut it out. It's a 3-inch diameter circle, and I use the Love from Lizi circle nesting dies for that. I have some of the ephemera pieces. I don't know if I'll use these in particular. I'll pick from the whole lot. I really like the idea of using either the old-fashioned car or the VW, so I'm going to see, but that's just reminding me they're going to go on here onto this circle and be raised up. I've got one of the little sparkle holographic raised domed peel-offs, whatever you want to call them. I've one of those, and that'll probably sit across here like this with our circle on top. And then finally, I've taken some dies from my stash. They are Love from Lizi dies. I have this set here. It's the Word and Shadow dies. I know that Lizi was out of stock with these. I leave links to everything. If they're out of stock, I'm sorry, but she may well be getting them back in. But I leave links to what I can. I've also used the alphabet set. This was available in August 2020. Again, I'm not sure if this is available. You can use whatever you have in your stash if you don't have these particular things. So I've die cut out birthday and boy. Again, I've put some foam behind them to raise them up, and I'll pop them out of there. So the first thing we want to do is do our stamping and heat embossing. So I'm going to move everything out of the way, get all set up for that, and I'll meet you back here. You know, I love when I come up with a card design and then while I'm crafting, it actually evolves into something else. And you know, sometimes I struggle with, oh, should I stick to my plan or not? And I'm just so pleased with this card. I mean, it's such a simple card, but I think it has great impact. I love it. The cardstock I've used is a kind of an off-white, and it's a linen texture. I don't know how I managed to pick this card base up, and I never noticed while I was scoring it and stuff, but I really like the texture on it, especially with the stamping inside here. You can see the texture through the stamping, and it really does look great. I have a couple of little bits on it, but I think they're more fluff than anything else. But yeah, I'm gonna add a little twinkle onto the inside just to bring what's going on in the outside to the inside. So I'm gonna, they keep jumping off my tweezers, and these are not my favorite tweezers either. They're I think I've put my favorite pair of tweezers into the bloody bin because I can't find them anywhere. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this card make with doing our stamping and embossing, and I just love it. I think it's a very impactful card, and I love the sentiments I'm using at the moment. They're from my stash. Happy Feeling Old Day. And I hope whoever gets this card will get a giggle out of it, because it makes me smile every time. So there we go. That was card 9. Let's move on to card 10 now, our final card in this series of Vintage Escapes card kit. And now we're on to card 10, our last card. And this one, I thought I would make it a feminine card. So it's going to be a girly card. So I'm going to make a not 6x6 card. I'm going to make a card that measures 11 3/4 by 5 7/8. I've scored it at 5 7/8, and it's going to give us a just short of 6x6 card base. It'll be 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. I have a piece of craft card, and this is from my stash. This piece measures 5 5/8 by 5 5/8. And then we have a piece of pattern paper from the kit, and this one measures 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. And they'll nestle on there fine. I've got this circle. I was going to use it in the last card, changed my mind, so I'm going to use it in this card. And I did go around it with the VersaFine Claire Fallen Leaves. I'm going to do a little bit more blending on this, and I'm going to ink blend around the actual pattern paper itself. I've taken 3 of the cork tags. They come with string in them. I've taken them out of all 3. I'm going to use 2 of the circles and 1 of the heart, and 1 of the strings I took out. I've tied it into a little sweet bow, and I'm going to add that on there. So we'll have 3 pieces going like that, with the heart then there in the middle. I've got 2 pieces of ephemera, a lovely little hat. I'm going to pop that on there. And then we have the eye protection for when you're asleep. I'm going to pop that in there. And what I'm going to do is, because you won't really see the hole, I'm going to cover up where the hole is, so it just looks like it's set on a cork circle. And the same with this one. I'll put that on there so you don't see it, because the hole is covered up there with our little bow. I'm going to embellish using some of the lovely little gems we got, and I'm also going to use some of the peel-offs. I was thinking either to put 2 across the middle or have them hanging like as if they are like a Christmas decoration or a bauble, but I mean, they don't have to be just for Christmas. So I'm going to use the peel-offs that way, hanging them down through. So that's everything we need. The only other thing I'm going to use is the stamp set that came in the kit. I'm going to put wherever you are across here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my stamp from in between the wherever and the you are, and they will join back up together again. But if you don't like cutting your stamps, then just cover up the you are part, stamp down the wherever, and then cover up the wherever and stamp down the you are. I want to fit that sentiment in here, and that's why I'm cutting it down. So I'm going to have wherever you are, and then inside it's going to have one of the sentiments. I'll probably go with you are thought about. So Yeah, I'm thinking about you. One or the other of those two sentiments is what I'm going to use inside. So that's everything that we need to make this card. I'm going to speed everything up, add a bit of music, craft away, and when we get to the end then I'll come back. So there we go, there's our final card, and I think this turned out lovely. It's quite feminine and I'm delighted with it. I did use a little heart stamp from a previous Love from Lizi kit. I don't have on it what month it was, but you can use a heart, any little heart that you have in your stash. And I used some hot glue as well to add the little cork tags on, as well as my ephemera pieces. I've used some accent glaze then on the hearts that I've stamped, and where I did second generation stamping, I filled those in with the accent glaze as well. So that looks really nice. I'm delighted with that. So we have wherever you are, and then inside it says, I'm thinking about you. So there we go, they are our 10 cards. I'm going to start flicking through them now so you can see all 10 of the cards that went. I hope you've enjoyed my video. If you have, I'd really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and ding the bell. It costs nothing for you to subscribe. When you subscribe to my channel, when I share a new video, YouTube will notify you and tell you that I have a new video up. That's all that subscribing to my channel will do. It just helps you to know when I'm bringing out another video. I'll leave links to the products that I've used down below, especially Lizi's website and the subscription for the kits. There's also links down there to the design team members as well as the guest designer. So I hope you're popping over to see the other designer cards, and I'm sure you'll have loads of inspiration between us all. If you make any of the cards that I've shared with you today, I'd love for you to share them on my Facebook group, and it's called Your Cards and Crafts. And don't forget, Lizi has a Facebook group too, and there are links to that down below. So that's it, friends. I'm going to leave it there. If you make any cards, please do share them with us. The measurements for all 10 cards are down in the description below, as well as any links that you might need. And I'd also love a comment from you letting me know which was your favorite card. Do you have a favorite card? And if you do, which one? So I'm going to say goodbye. Until next time, folks, take care, stay safe, happy crafting, and bye for now. Bye bye.